Let's move on to our next topic, which is Lyft adding more transparency to the app. You called bullshit on this when I was sending you screenshots, and I'm like, no, bro, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. This is
I
what they're
got this
doing
from
now.
South Carolina, bro. I trust this guy like I trust my name. He's one of my eyes and ears down there, besides Jeff the Sunshine Man. So this is in the Lyft app on the lower right hand corner where you click and then you see your preferences. Now Lyft goes, well, you don't have to go to your passenger app, and you still can do that. It'll show there, but it'll show mostly 8, right? Uber and Lyft always show 8.
Yep.
So that's what I've been doing from the first day when I started driving. I look at it. If they're all here, I'm going the other way. That's the whole rule of thumb here, right? I mean, if they're all going one way, you got to go the other way, period. Because there's probably some fake search happening that way, and all of them are going to go in that way. You go, okay, well, we just go this way. When they go right, you go left, people. That was the first thing I learned as a rideshare driver. But then now it's so oversaturated. There's so many cars everywhere that I go like, it doesn't matter where I go. I'm surrounded by 8 cars constantly. But now, Lyft is right there on number 3. The wait times, they're telling you on the app, recent ride demand. I mean, look, these are all positive things. These are all, look, if you do believe the data, okay, these are all good tools, informational tools that could make you some more money. And then the third one that showed up, which I don't have in my app, I've been checking every day, is nearby drivers, and it says new, obviously new. They're just telling you. So this driver, did 2 things for me. See, this is what they do. This is what I love our community for. The one on the right, Chris, is when you click on that nearby drivers, look all those drivers. That's the one from the right. I don't know how many cars there are, but there seems like a lot of cars out there.
I think they do what's in the general vicinity. So they're showing you all the different cars. So when you have because the middle screenshot is the passenger app, and again, like you said, it shows 8. So it just shows the closest cars, so you can see, oh, there's a couple of lifts that are nearby, or a little bit further away. So if it tells you it's going to be 12 minutes, that's why, or something like that. But when it comes to the driver app, it's not the same type of thing. It's more where are drivers currently, and that. So they're showing a lot more cars. And then
I mean, on the driver app,
this
I
is just
kind of look.
Charleston. But if you look at like the one from Vegas, holy shit!
Can you imagine that?
If you look at you got to look at the one that I saw, the one from LAX earlier. There's a screenshot. So it's some have it in the LA market.
LAX is just 400
but
cars
LAX, it was crazy. It was just like all these cars parked along each other, and
it's crazy. But if you look at this and then look at the one from the passenger app, so he goes, that's a valid question, right? He goes, is this like more hocus pocus? Should I believe this? I'm like, they have no reason to lie to you. I mean, it kind of hurts them to actually show you that there are so many cars, because on the rider app, it's showing the usual 8. You know what I'm saying? And if you kind of look at it, the 2, and deduct those 8 out of that group, it shows the rest of them. And those kind of match, actually. I was just kind of superimposing the 2 pictures, right? They kind of match. So I'm going like, yeah, okay, on the passenger app, they're just going to show 8. But now, so people, as a driver, if you're there, right there, on the right-hand screenshot, and you're one of those, I mean, they have created amazing amount of density for everybody to get picked up in 3, 4, 5 minutes or less, right? And this is just Lyft, Chris. Right?
Now,
we talk about oversaturation.
Now, my question to you is, why do you think that they're showing this to drivers?
Oh, good question. What I think the reason that they're showing this to drivers is truly saying, we already have this much. I mean, I think they're just trusting the driver's business sense that, look, don't be here. We have enough. Just go somewhere else. I'm hoping it's because of that. If it's because them showing you that there are so many competitors in this tiny little area, well, that may not be a tiny little area, but still, it looks like a little peninsula there, right? If there are so many drivers there, don't go there. I mean, you're going to wait longer for a trip to come up, because on the bottom one, on the top, right above nearby drivers in your app, it says recent ride demand. So you can probably like look at both, like where I'm right there in that cluster. Recent ride demand, if it's like one trip every 6 minutes and I have so many drivers there already, I should not be there. I know that as a veteran driver.
Well,
right?
I think it's going to depend though, because it's going to depend on your market. It's going to depend on what's originating in the area where all the drivers are hyper focused, because there could be events that are going on there. There could be, a lot of different things that are actually going on. So you may see that there, but I'm going to put my conspiratorial hat on, and I hope that this is not the correct version of it. But when David Risher first came as Lyft CEO, what was one of the first things that he said he wanted to get rid of? You remember?
When David Risher came, what's the first thing?
Yeah, one of the first things
Oversaturation? Was it oversaturation?
no, he wanted to get rid of
Oh,
surge
him.
pricing.
Oh,
He
him.
said
Yeah.
he wanted to get rid of surge pricing.
Yeah.
So what if this was a way that you could say, oh, well, we can spread out drivers by showing them where other drivers are, because they're already doing it with the passenger app. So why not just put all the drivers in on the driver app? And then that way they'll naturally go to where it's quieter or there's less drivers. So then the surge pricing doesn't necessarily have to show up there.
Yeah. Well, I get that, but surge pricing is down quite a bit, and they like that, but on the left-hand screenshot, right? I mean, look at the surge. Obviously, if you look at the time, stamps, one is 11:24, the other two are identical at 9:18. So surge still is going to happen. Look, it's a dynamic marketplace,
Oh yeah.
but I think as a driver, instead of now going to the rider app, they're showing you the true picture, because we're always seeing 8 on the rider app. We're seeing, and I knew that there's a lot more cars, obviously. And now they're telling you, look, buddy, there are already so many people there idling. Don't go there. I think that's what I'm just going. Maybe I'm too naive. I think that's what I'm going with, because if I saw that picture, I'd be like, nope, no thanks. Just turn the engine off and stay where I'm at, because too many mouths to feed there, and not enough demand probably. So I wouldn't do that. And it may look, you give it a shot. I don't have it. Once I have it, I'll use it. But give it a shot. Do the opposite. If there's so many cars there already, go somewhere else. Don't go there.
One thing I always say is work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, then you may be working harder. So let's change that. Download the app, link your accounts where you can manage your income, track your expenses, and project your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download Solo and begin to work smarter, not harder today. Link is in the description. All right, let's get back to it.
No, I mean, personally, I like it. I think that you should be able to overlay the maps though. So if you want to see like the wait times or the recent ride demand, you can put it on top of nearby drivers, so you can see the drivers and that information instead of one or the other. Just because it's a car versus the map itself when it comes to like the ride demand or wait times. So then that way you can see everything at once. But my thing is, it's always, why are they showing it to us now? What's the reason for it? Because again, these companies do things in their favor, not for drivers' favor, for the most part. So that's why I always look at like what would be in it for them. That's why I say, oh, it could be to try to disperse drivers for that particular reason. But you can always use that information for yourself in order to know, one, what's going on in your area. That's part of the planning and the 3 Ps. But now it's also positioning, which is going to help you even better, especially real-time information where drivers are. Now, one of the things that you do notice between the middle screenshot and the right screenshot is that's real-time information, because if you look at like the cluster of cars, there's literally two cars that are like on top of each other. They're like in the middle there. But then if you look on the other side, it looks like one car's turning. So it looks like it's X there. So that just goes to show you, just within that time, they're probably sitting at a light on the passenger app. And then he hopped over to the driver's side to take the side by side. And during that time, that light turned green. One driver's going forward, the other driver's turning. That's what it seems like.
Well,
so that's nice that you're able to see that information and you're able to make better decisions. You can position yourself better, and you can use the planning that you know how to do in order to use this information to your advantage.
Yeah, I agree. And I'll ask this to Lyft because I just got this, and I'll ask them. I go, what's the point of this again? I'm sure they'll get back to me at some point. And but I mean, look, the three things that they have done, two I wrote about, which is they're telling you the dollars per mile rate on the ping screen. Uber will never do that. And I mean, look, good, bad, ugly, they're doing it, right? I mean, they're pinging you with 50, 60 cent mile trips, which is under the IRS deduction. Then in some places, they're pinging you with the active hour, right? What you're going to earn if you took this trip on per active hour. And now this. I mean, there is not much to say about this other than these are things that could hurt Lyft, actually, if you think about it. Because before we were doing it in our head in 10 seconds or 15 seconds. Now it's in front of you. If it's a 60 cent a mile trip, don't take it. You're going to decline more. I mean, right? Or if they push you a trip that's $18 per active hour, you're not going to take it. You're making your life easier, right? And if you see all these drivers here, don't go there. Making life easier. So I don't know. I mean, I agree with you. There's something behind the scenes happening here. But
what is it?
but that's our conspiracist side. But I like these things. I mean, make it more transparent.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, these are things that you can use that information to your advantage. And if you don't see how you can do that, you need to learn how. But yeah, it's basically planning and positioning, knowing your markets especially, and then that way you can really take advantage of the things that are going on. The other thing too is you can see like trends and a lot of things there. So it can actually help you if you study those when you're online and you look at it. So that's definitely something to pay attention to. So if you have the nearby drivers, kind of keep it on as best as you can and just follow what people are doing, see what people are doing. And then, yeah, as Sergio said, when they turn right, you turn left.
Yep. One less work, right? It's there on your app now. You don't have to fumble between the passenger app to see how many drivers are around you, all that stuff. So, well, the other thing, Chris, actually, now that I thought about it, you had 2 minutes to give me 2 minutes to think about it. When we go to the passenger app, right, to see the cluster, we have to price a trip. Maybe they don't want us to see the right price of that trip.
Well, what would that matter? Because you're going to see it at the end of the trip anyway.
Well, no, as a rider. And then as a driver, we're pricing a trip on the rider app. We know we're only going to get half of it. We're going to get pissed off. We're going to see, oh, they're charging $50 for this driver, for this rider, for this trip. I'm only
but you're already going to know that because you already see what the customer pays on the trip.
Yeah, I know. But I'm like, maybe I'm thinking, maybe they're just trying not to for you, or maybe for safety reasons. Maybe they don't want you to fumble around between the rider and the driver app. They go, okay, click here.
To show you. They already know what you're doing on your phone.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right. Well, we will keep you updated on any more of the things that Lyft is trying. And it seems like they're doing a lot more when it comes to a lot of the testing that they're doing. And, this isn't just in one area. This is sporadically throughout. Like I said, I saw it LAX. I saw it in Vegas from a number of drivers, Charleston. So there's quite a few places that this is happening in. It's not just limited to, a couple of markets here or there. This is actually happening sporadically to different people all over. So pay attention if you have it. Keep checking if you don't. It's just in the map layer. When you open up your app, the little map layer in the corner on the left side, click that. You'll see the little thing pop up with all that. And yeah, if you have it, it'll show it. If not, then well, you'll have to wait until it does come, and hopefully it will. Hopefully it's one of those things that will continue to come.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you get notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.